trust your crypto assets to centralized exchanges that actively sell your private information and front-run your trades? Would you like to buy and sell your assets without any middlemen, intermediaries, or robots? Do you like paying slippage, fees, and having the price go up as bots steal from you on low-liquidity decentralized exchanges? The solution is NodeMarket.io. Set your guaranteed buy or sell price. No middlemen, no slippage, no bots, ever. Buy or sell 1, 10, or even 10 million tokens, and you never have to worry. OTC trades are between you and the seller or buyer, guaranteed by audited smart contracts and no human middlemen. NodeMarket.io.
Ah, all right. I had to figure out I had a volume setting I had to mess with. I had turned it up and I was like, why don't I hear anything? It's so quiet. It's so quiet. Anyway, I'm trying some new settings, some new audio settings. Very exciting. Very exciting. Audio settings. Okay, let's see. Let me do the gratuitous hellos. Hello, 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 hello. Yeah, yeah. Get a little volume there. Yeah. All right. Hello, hello. Hello. To the digital private clients, the Sophia tokens and the Hypercycle tokens went out yesterday for the early investors. If you message me and say you can't find your Sophia tokens because they're on the base network and you don't know how to click the base button, I'm going to make fun of you. It's going to be vocal. It's going to be embarrassing. Lots of making funning of it. All right. Okay. Hello, 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 hello. Hello. Max in the house. What up? Hello, 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 hello. We're just cruising through here saying hello to everyone, even those of you that don't deserve it. There's a lot of kind of interesting news today. We'll go through it. Let me get through all these guys. I'm going to get through all of them. That's the rule. We acknowledge. Thursday rant. Raul Powell. Oh, God. Remember, do you guys, I don't know, for those of you that don't know, Hoop and Tony, you probably do remember when Raul was on a live broadcast. Raul was on a live broadcast when Luna was collapsing, and he was talking about how good it was, UST and Luna. None of these jackasses know fucking anything about finance. Not really, because all of their jobs are sales jobs. All of these, oh, I'm a macro economist. That doesn't mean anything. That means nothing. Macro. You listen to CNBC, therefore you're macro. Fucking Raul Powell. That guy's a douchebag, and he's corrupt. I caught him and his buddies pulling a fast one over on their little sketchy ass Real Vision exchange, trying to fleece some people, and then I summarily got booted after I made it public. But Yeah, that guy, those guys had offered me a job, and I was, it was like me and a couple people they were interviewing for this job, and yeah, it it disintegrated. Anyway, I called him out on some bullshit, so it disintegrated. Um, but these guys, these macro guys, there's a handful of these macro geniuses that don't ever say anything specific. They live in fucking vagaries, and they will have you believe because they did something 25 years ago in some minuscule, nondescript bullshit market that these guys are big hedgies. These are hedge fund guys. But what they are is they're salesmen. Most of them have the same story, the same DNA. They come from Goldman Sachs, which is a fucking chop shop for scumbags. I know one or two people from Goldman Sachs that are worth not lighting on fire. All the rest of them are total fucking dirtbags. I mean, just like the worst of the worst of the worst. And intellectually, they're fucking midgets, all of them. And so, but that's the good old boys club of investing. Like Goldman Sachs, they're a powerhouse. So you go to work for those douchebags. It's the same as going to work at a bank. Eventually, your job will narrow and narrow and narrow and narrow until you're in some tiny little management position, managing other people that manage salespeople. And somewhere there's some analysts doing something, but mostly they get stepped on by the salespeople and the other managers. It's a sales job. Those are all sales jobs. Those aren't investing jobs. There's analysts that work at these firms, but the analysts aren't placing trades. They're just writing papers. Salesmen are selling. That's the job. So these dudes sell a bunch of shit. Good salesmen get further than other ones. And invariably, for one reason or another, they'll part ways. Usually, it's because they've either broken the law, they've got caught stealing, embezzling, same difference. They did something sketchy, or they have a drug problem. So in that little group right there, I've just named Novogratz, drugs. Novogratz is not a thief. He's a junkie. He was a junkie. He's no longer a junkie. Well, that's arguable. Raoul Pal. Oh, perhaps we'll never know. He left to pursue other things. Hugh Hendry, all these same guys that you see coming back up in the rotation. They're mostly ex-Goldman Sachs douchebags that got bounced. If you get fired from the shittiest, sketchiest, most corrupt fucking financial organization on the planet, what does that make you? Like, you're a dirtbag. Anyway, so they get booted from Goldman. Then they'll hide out for a couple of months or a year or so. Then they'll open up a fund. They'll open up their own shop, and depending on the jurisdiction, and they will get their Rolodex, which they're not supposed to have, of numbers and names that they stole from Goldman Sachs, because that's all proprietary, and they will go and poach clients, which is illegal, but they do it anyway. No one gets in trouble. And then those idiots will think that, hey, this guy sold me some stuff in the past. He's a macro expert. Oh, I'm gonna get in his fund. This guy will make me a fortune. Now he's unencumbered by Goldman Sachs. That's what was holding us back. Otherwise, I would have made a fortune. So they'll pilfer all these idiots, and those idiots will give them money. They'll usually do this when a bull market is forming. There's a bull market everywhere, somewhere, at some time, all the time. They'll have a big run up. They'll have a good first year, 18 months, because everybody's having a good year or a good 18 months, because anything you invest in is going straight up. And they'll use that to market the fund for year two, and they will gobble up a bunch of cash. What Brandon might call a butt ton, a button, a buttload, a crap load, a giant fucking pile of money. And people will pour into it, Kathy. And then for the next 5 or 6 years, they'll shit the bed because they don't know anything, because they're salesmen. They don't actually know anything about markets or how the economy works or how investing works or fundamental analysis or fucking anything. And they will destroy value, destroy. Then here come the redemptions. Bam, bam, bam. They'll either freeze redemptions. I'm not going to talk about that because even one of my friends is doing that. It's sketchy. Basically say you can't take your money out. No bueno, my friend, no bueno. But if they allow you to redeem, then you have a bunch of redemptions. People get all their money back. People get all their money. Well, the fund collapses. Or your partners force you out. You've taken on partners usually. If not, your fund is destroyed. You go away for another 2 or 3 years. Then you come back and hit the lecture circuit or simply just run another fund. People do this over and over because investor memory is so fucking weak. All you remember is, oh, Raul used to manage $360 million. No, he didn't. He was in a department that managed money. He didn't manage shit. Macro fucking guru. These guys, none of that stuff makes sense when the dudes can't do basic math, basic mathematics. So when your gurus can't do fucking math, they need to probably go back to what is the math version of Hooked on Phonics for 5-year-olds? Because that's what they need to start with. These dudes don't do anything but blab. They blab and they sell. And then they destroy money and they destroy value. They get redeemed. They go away. Then they show back up. And no one remembers. No one remembers how much money Raul cost people. They just remember, oh, Raul, he does interviews. Real Vision, he does interviews. This guy's big time. He's a macro expert. Because, oh, Peter Schiff? Peter Schiff he's a macro expert. He's an expert with the macro. He is macro expert, what does that even mean? He's an expert in things that are vague, grand, nonsensical stuff. He's an expert at that. But what is that? What do you do with that skill? No, nothing. No, you give interviews and you fuck up investors. That's what you do. Okay, sweet. So just, man, God, there's a lot of them. And I could take you down the path of Novogratz, who's another douchebag who he's not a thief, he's an idiot. And he will light you on fire too. That was the jackass that got the lunatic, Luna, the lunatic tattoo. Fucking moron. And there's just unfortunately a lot of these guys, and they will light your shit on fire, and they don't care because see, when you run a fund, let's do some fund math real quick since we're just having crazy day. Let me get a different screen here. Let's see, a little bit back. Okay, so fund math. Actually, you know what? No. We're having a sophisticated discussion. Fund math. Here's how fund math works. I am a macro guru. I open a fund. You're fucking dumb enough to give me money because I have no background other than I got booted from Goldman Sachs. Although I'll tell you I left on my own. I left to pursue greater things. I felt like the institution was holding me back. It no longer had anything to give me. So now, fund. You give me money. I take 2% of your money, which is, got to run the fund. Then I take 20%. Depends on how it's structured. Usually it's a 2 and 20 with some kind of water line. So what does that mean? 2 and 20 is the typical hedge fund structure. 2% of the assets that come in go in my back pocket. The 20 is a performance fee. The 20% is if I make 100%, I get 20%. Well, if I make anything I make, I get 20% of that in a performance fee. And that's fair. The performance fee is fair. And actually, if the people aren't sketchy, the management fee is fair. Usually because there are like legal expenses and all that kind of stuff. So, but here's what happens. These dudes that don't know what they're doing, they hoover up a bunch of cash. They get 1 year of a bull market. They really hoover up a bunch of cash, Kathy Wood. And Then they disintegrate it. They still get their management fee year after year after year after year. And so you say, well, what if they're terrible? It doesn't matter if they're terrible, because if they're a good salesman and they raise $1 billion, quick math, everyone. There's 142 people here. Quick math. What is 2% of $1 billion? And also, and spinning up $1 billion in a hedge fund's it's not as much work as you would think, because they're coming from a place where they got a free Rolodex of all these high net worth clients. Some of them, other business, well, most of them companies, many of them small countries. They don't know they don't know shit either, right? So they gonna take $2 million. Good. They're gonna take $2 million, not 200, not 200, Mary. Dear God, I like your math though. Be careful, you're about to get hired at Goldman Sachs. No, that'd be 20. So this would be 2%. So they're going to take $2 million. They're going to put that in their back pocket. You think, well, that's $2 million. They're going to have one good year, because they're going to do this into a bull market. So on their good year, they double their fund. They take their 1 billion, they go to 2 billion. Now, Mary, the 20% performance fee. The 20% performance fee on the second billion they made is I know there's a little delay. I'm waiting for Mary. Mary's going to come home. She's going to this is going to be in the park home run. In the park home run. And for anybody that wants to just accumulate that means at the end of year one in a bull market. No, dear God, Mark, no. Okay. Mark is right on the first one. Okay, Mark is right on the first. So, yes. So, basically, okay, look. Okay. On a billion, remember, it's 1,000 millions is a billion. It's 1,000 thousands is a millions. Thousands, you got to add the, right. So, it's 20 million. So, macro fucking guru, who simply does 100% in a bull market. How do you not? Anyway, because they're taking reckless gambles anyway. So I clear 220 million at the end of that year. Let's call it 18, whatever. At the end of the year, I clear 220 million bucks. Is there anybody here who thinks that for the rest of their life, 220 million bucks is not going to be enough for them to cut it? Is there anybody here that if you woke up with 220 million bucks in your back pocket, you would have any give a shit left in your pocket? Anything, bro. Would there be any give a shit left? Any give a shit? You wake up in the morning, you care about nothing. So, no, not 222. It's just that it would be a straight 220, because it was 20. Remember, 2% of $1 billion, 20. So you got your 20 million locked. You have nominal fees and the stuff, but we're just keep it vague. After that year, you cracked $220 million. Exactly. There is no give a shit left. And you didn't have any skill anyway. Now, you may go out and try to hire people, like smart people that are smarter than you. But that's right, Dan. You get a cloud city like a mother. You get a hell of a cloud city. There's no give a shit left. And this is a huge inherent problem. It's that if you raise enough money, you can suck. It doesn't matter. Hell, if you raise $10 billion, you pocket 200 million and you've done fucking nothing. Nothing, my friend. You've done nothing. It's day one. Your fund just launched. You've done nothing. You got $200 million. Why? Because you raised $10 billion. Because you were in the fucking the macro, the extended. They give all these stupid names to these different funds that Goldman has. You were in the macro, the exotic corridor macro fund, and Raoul Pal was one of the associate junior vice presidential secretary. Associate generals of the fucking thing. So Depending on how much money you raise, you don't have to make shit. Or you have to make one good year. One. John, buddy, you could get every Volvo on earth painted. You could get it painted with a new car. You could paint it with Ferraris. Not Ferrari paint, mind you, Ferraris. So, like, this is what happens, man. And then they destroy money and destroy value forever because they don't care and they didn't know in the first place. And unfortunately, that's like most hedge funds, man. Most. There are people that are really good at this. There are real, actual, fundamental analysis. There are facilities that have really good researchers and analysts and act on that. There are a few. I mean, it's a few, like a few. There's a reason there's not 10 Berkshire Hathaways. There's a reason there's not 100 Jeffrey Gunlocks, right? There are people that are good at this, but they are very, very few. And unfortunately, that's not usually who you hear going out and talking their book on CNBC, because people that are really good, they don't really need to go out and talk. Now, the only exception to that is that there are a few very astute short sellers that will go and talk because they see it not only talking their book, but as their kind of performance theater that informs society that there are scams aplenty. Like when Bill Ackman, Pershing, when he goes out and says, hey, Herbalife is a scam. It's stealing from immigrants. It's selling to the people that are in the organization rather than outside the organization. It is what one might call a Ponzi scheme. And so, guys like that will come out and say, hey, listen, I'm going to short this. I'm going to short the piss out of it. And I think you should too. It's a scam. That's a service. It's valuable. But that's a very rare group. It's a very small group of people that have like good intentions. On the short side, you can get just completely obliterated. There's no limit to the losses you can take on the short side of a gamble. There is a limit to the upside because a stock can only go to zero. An asset can only go to zero. But your losses can go to infinity because it can just go. And no one here has infinity money. So anyway, but other than that, mostly scumbags, man. And you see the same dudes doing the same circles on CNBC. It's a fucking toilet drain, man. So I guess the good news is, don't think that because people manage a lot of money that they're super smart. They mostly aren't. They'll mostly let you down. I used to consult for a fund/insurance company that had or has, I don't think they have. Well, at the time when I was consulting with them, they had 240 billion under management. 240 billion. That's a quarter of a T, bro. And they were managed by well-intentioned, very polite, very nice, very well-dressed morons. And I guess the excuse was for them being so stupid was, well, we manage, we're wealth managers. I was like, what? We manage wealth. Well, if you put enough money together, it's all wealth. No, we're wealth managers. What do they say? The smallest investors we have are deca-millionaires. So people with 10 million. No, deca-millionaires. Oh, so people with 10 million. Got it. Or centimillionaires. That's when you're a fancy mofo. Centimillionaire. Aye. It's 100. Centi. What's some Roman shit? We're using Latin and shit and metrics. These guys they're so self-important. And I was talking to these guys, I was like, how I started to know they were, because, you know, when I go into a room with these kind of guys, I'm like, man, I'm going to meet some really sharp people. I'm going to have to be on my, you know, I'm going to have to drink 2 of these cups of coffee just to be prepared, which, by the way, small side note, this is cinnamon Subway flavor. You can get all these at Costco, by the way, but cinnamon Subway flavor. And this was my one chance to use my cinnamon vanilla creamer, of which I used 68% creamer. And if I use Rao Pal Mouth math, 74% coffee. That equals 100%. But the coffee has like a vanilla-y, cinnamony thing. So I thought cinnamon plus cinnamon. Because you can't use the cinnamon creamer with anything else. It like ruins it. It's like you wouldn't put like a peanut butter in lemonade. They're both good, not really good together. So there's that. Anyway, I was talking to these guys, and I realized pretty quickly that they didn't understand how the yield curve actually works. Like they didn't understand the yield. They didn't understand what the yield curve was saying in simple terms, and which is weird to me because, like, if you manage centimillionaires and decamillionaires, what I should say, sir, that you should understand the signals you're getting from the bond market and where those signals are coming from and what they're trying to say. And it was like all these guys just had their typical college finance education and zero real world experience. Like, you know, they went right from college to this fund, and no one at this fund, they just don't understand how world works. None of them have been, except probably, you know, many years ago, the entrepreneurs that started that, or whatever, that started that company. And I can't say who it is because they are douchey and vindictive, and they probably try to get back at me. But they're big. You might say they are nationwide. That's how wide they are. They are nationwide asset managers. Anyway, and I started realizing the more I met these groups, because I would go and I used to make, before I did like private, like giving people like private consulting, I would go and talk to people because my background is in the gold business. I would go and talk to people about the way that I transitioned from the gold business to the crypto space, why I did that. And because that a lot of hard money people, a lot of bankers, and a lot of old school finance guys, that line of reasoning makes sense to them. If you start talking to them about tech and layer 2s and all this kind of bullshit, they just check out. But if you explain to them that you came from the hard money side, you made the transition, this is why they might consider it too, then it starts to make sense. And so I used to do those discussions, which, you know, you make good money on those things because you charge them out the, you know. Anyway, but mostly none of them listened to anything I had to say. But I guess it's whatever. It doesn't matter. They paid. But meeting after meeting after meeting, I just started realizing, I was like, these guys don't know anything, man. These guys really don't. And then I realized the gift is, if you do understand just the basics, man, just like this the basics, you understand the yield curve, just at the most basic level. You get what it's trying to tell you. Growth and inflation expectations. You get that it's real money going in, determining what that curve looks like, not the Fed at the short end trying to bullwhip it. If you understand basically how repo works and the concepts of rehypothecation and two-party and three-party repo and bespoke repo and stuff like that, and so you start putting the gears together. Like, how does the financial system work? This is the legacy system. Here's the gears. You understand how banks function. You understand how lending into existence occurs. You understand that it's spend first, tax second. Like, if you just get the basics, man, and then you take those basics, where in the legacy system, there's a bunch of idiots. So in the crypto space, there's way more idiots. Like, way more idiots, because there seems to be this distaste for knowing even the most simple parts of the legacy financial system. It's almost like if you know how it works, what are you crazy? We don't pay attention to such things. It's the same stupid on the other side of the fence. So if you apply your understanding of legacy finance in the crypto space, and you can sit back and kind of look at them both, you can make so much money because no one does the work. It's not like it's that much work, but no one does the effort. Like, as an example, if you ask 100 people in finance, does the Fed print money? They'll say yes. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Does anybody here think that the Fed prints money? I would hope no. You can't buy burgers with bank reserves, right? So we have a wonderful and I guess perpetual opportunity. And at first I was worried. I was like, well, people are going to get on board. People are going to figure things out. But I realized that people don't even understand the basic legacy system. Not really. You can't find anyone. I've never found anyone that really understands the banking system and repo. Not really. And I mean, there's the Jeff Snyders and the guys like that, but Jeff Snyder, those guys aren't managing money. They're just giving analysis. It's very few people that get it, that actually do, that are in the money game. And the ones that are really good, they keep their mouth shut because they realize, like, shit, I hope everyone is stupid. If people weren't stupid, we wouldn't have all these opportunities. So I'm coming around to the idea that I'm glad people are stupid. It used to bother me. I would be like, oh, stupid people. And then Brandon's like, no, man, we need stupid people. There needs to be the majority of stupid people. I was like, good thing is there's more stupid people every day. That's why that there will be opportunity in this space and in other spaces like this forever. Because there will always be a certain component of society that will not do any work because they're too busy watching reality TV and just clocking in, clocking out. Their life is miserable. There's a certain amount of people that already think they know everything. They're not about to learn anything because they already know everything. I mean, they learned it in college and they got a job right out of college. They're a success story. They have a Volvo. They have 1.8 kids and live in suburbia. They've clawed their way to upper middle management, and they're leveraged 74-1 on their income to expenses. They're fine. So they don't need to know anything. Then you have a few that are in the management, the VP management, don't actually do any work space of finance. They don't need to learn anything because they have that guaranteed check coming in. And then you have the little outliers here and there. The fact that the whole space is stupid, that's it. Stupid is how we make our money. Maybe that's a new t-shirt. Stupid people is how we make our money. Stupid people, we're going to have to workshop that. Stupid people, I don't know, that's pretty good. Stupid people's how we make our money. If you weren't stupid, I wouldn't be rich. Nope, we can't say that. We're going to get punched in the ass for that. No, we need a nice way to say that. But that's what I'm trying to say. Stupid people is how we make our money. And if you throw a boiled egg in any direction, it's going to bounce off 14 stupid people. We're going to be making money forever. And it's just perpetual. I always wonder, like, when am I going to wake up with the last good idea I'm ever going to have? I realize I don't have to have any good ideas. I just have to not be completely fucking retarded when I look out into the world. Yes, I said it. I'm not woke. I'm not at all woke. I'm non-binary. Non-binary, which is binary. I'm binary. I'm non. Rich because stupid. Rich. We gotta do it in a way that's not so condemning. Leverage, yes, the intellectual arbitrage. Okay. We've been on our intellectual high horse. And the other thing too is, like, I'm not saying we have to be smart. We just have to not be stupid. That's the beauty of it. Some people are going to obviously go way further because they're going to pursue things that we might not see are interesting, and they're going to go off in different directions. They're going to do intellectually amazing things. But you don't have to do that to get riches from dumb arses. That's right. You just have to do just minimally viable effort. MVE, minimally viable effort. All right. Think about that. And I get a lot of emails where people are like, I'm confused about this, I'm confused about that. But the things that they're confused about are very, very nuanced, like tricky, crypto-y things. I was like, but if you step back a little bit, yes, stupidity that equals opportunity. That's right. I would say it's very easy to be better than most everybody else. You don't have to be better than the 1% of the 1%. All you have to do is be in the like 60 to 70 percentile thing. Like just not be dumb, and you rise ahead of the rest. Okay. So with that in mind, let's talk about what's going on. There's some kind of interesting market stuff going on. I thought the news stuff today was pretty funny, and the way they spin it is funny too. So I've got some articles that I'm going to go over with you, and the headlines kind of allude to what is happening, but also it's a little bit weird. So, by the way, the Leap token, you can see the stats. 31,240,000 of 50 million gone, so we're at 62.5%. Whoop whoop. I will be bringing you more updates on what's going on with Libra, and they're doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes. And some of it's not behind the scenes, some of it's right out in front of the scenes. They're going to a lot of conferences, they're doing a lot of presentation, but they're also expanding their reach to potential retailers that they would work with. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm not going to say anything that they don't tell me that I can say, because I don't want to talk out of school. But I like the idea of projects that reach a retail market. I like business to business things. I like kind of grinding, churning, recurring income business proposals. And I think there's not enough of that in the crypto space. I can give you a basic thought on my thought on the timeline is sometime mid to late October. I say this because I think originally they were probably looking at a September launch. My gut feeling is I would urge them to go past that a little bit, to be more firmly embedded with their retail clients, so that rollout starts to occur. They're closer to revenue, things like that. These are the kind of things that I think people want to hear. Certainly me, from someone who is hoping that they'll build a rev share pool so that we can get some revenue share on them gains. I like a taste of that recurring income, man. So so they have a lot of stuff going on there. And also, the further I think we get past September into October-ish, and again, this is on them, it's not my decision, but the further we get down the road, I think the further we get away from the MT Gox crap, we get past at least one rate cut. I know it doesn't matter what the Fed does, but yes, we get past MT Gox, we get through at least one rate cut, and I guarantee you the economic information in the United States isn't about to get better. The layoff fairy is here, and she's going to be like, bing, layoffs for you, bing, layoffs for you, bing, layoffs for you. It's coming, and it's going to come. It's not like companies like, GM just yesterday, yesterday or the night before announced 1,000 layoffs. And those aren't like small jobs. Those are like legit high-paying jobs. When the layoff fairy cometh, the Fed cuts 25 or 50 or 75 basis points, it changes nothing. It changes nothing because it does nothing. And companies that actually have to manage themselves, well, I would say they know what's going on, but I would just say this. Maybe they don't read the tea leaves, but they certainly know that nothing the Fed does is going to make a difference for a company that's looking at having to lay off 10,000 or 20,000 people. The layoffs are happening. For a year and a half, they've been labor hoarding, and meaning we just trained all these people because we made some poor decisions during COVID, during the supply shock. We're not just going to fire them all. Okay, take part of them and put them on different projects. Take part of them, switch them to part-time. Don't just lay them off. Take some other ones, put them on some extended leave, give them some extra vacation, some severance. They've done all the balance sheet swapping and mismatching and machinationing that you can do. It's time to fire people. Sorry. It's time to lay them off. So the layoff fairy is here. That's going to start happening. Nothing the Fed does has ever and likely will ever make any difference. But if you're launching a new project, if the general psychology is better, that's when you launch. Let's see. Any idea when we will hear updates about Hypercycle? Yes. A bunch of stuff is coming. They're kind of on the precipice of having audits come back on a bunch of stuff. And what they don't want to do is say, hey, this is about to happen. And then an audit takes another 2 weeks and all that. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes at Hypercycle, including a rollout of a big client. Like I told you, 31 or 32 million users. That's all I can say about that. And I don't know when they will formally announce that. I don't know. But I know Tilling as a Service is coming. I know special pools for those that own hypershares is coming. And that would be pre-compute era. So you'll get paid. You're going to get paid as if compute was happening before compute happens. I'd say that's pretty good. All right. And yes. Yeah, if the layoff fairy is here and the layoffs start and we get more bad, this lie and revise strategy of the government, lie and revise. It's not, oops, we made a mistake. It's lie and revise. You got it wrong by 30%. It's not a mistake. You fucking lied. So this whole strategy of underreporting unemployment, over-reporting jobs, like over and over and over, and then downward revisions. Upward revision to unemployment, downward revision to jobs, over-reporting job postings, underreporting or not disclosing what's going on at the actual district level at the Fed, readjusting, editing, altering, censoring the minutes. It's so much bullshit. So yeah, I mean, you would think that would look bad. I've actually got a little bit of a news blurb about the current administration. Anyway, let's see. Which breaks down first, small caps or high yield treasuries? Well, I mean, treasuries have been grinding down. And the bond market is like the only real true source of information. Again, not what the Fed does at the short end of the curve, but the behavior along the curve. That kind of shows you what the people that are moving money around, that's at least what they think. You got to assume that they're the closest thing to the truth. Interest rate swap spreads is a weird. It's like, that's if you really want to nerd out, is beyond the yield curve. You go and look at interest rate swap spreads, and then you can really see. That's we may need to do a show on that at some point. That's getting really in the weeds. The long of it is, we're on the downside, or have been in the downside of a recession for a while. And once people kind of own up to that, hell, we're on our way out. We're on our way out of it, but we can't get out of it until people admit what's happening. Because unless everybody just comes to the table and says, okay, this is the way it is, do the layoffs, tighten the belt, whatever, kind of austerity measures need to go into place. Let's do it. Until people are honest, you can't fix anything. What is that? That's probably like a counseling thing, and like in marriage counseling, right? Like, Miss Smith, have you been honest? No. Mr. Smith? No. Okay, well, let's start there, man. Damn. Even Pickle Rick, even Pickle Rick had to be honest. He turned himself into a pickle to avoid going to counseling with Susan Sarandon. Wouldn't we all do the same? Pickle Rick. Anyway, okay, so let me go into some kind of interesting news bits. And I've got a banner for that. I actually planned this. This wasn't completely out of point, but I'm going to give you some cool stuff. One, here's the headline. Ethereum ETF exodus. Investors flee. Flee as market confidence dries up. That sounds pretty negative. That does not sound good for Ethereum. Well, it's not quite the truth. Ethereum ETFs face record outflows. Well, they've been around for like a month and a week. So record. Spot Ethereum ETFs in the US saw their largest outflow streak since inception, with 92.2 million withdrawn from August 15th to August 21st. So in that 7-day period, that large sample set, raising concerns about market confidence. No. Blurb number 2, Grayscale leads the withdrawals. Well, this is not a surprise to anybody. The Grayscale Ethereum Trust, ETH, was a major contributor. A major contributor? Let me read you the math, and you tell me. We're going to do some math again. ETH, Grayscale's Ethereum Trust, was a major contributor with 158.6 million in outflows. So, real quick, everyone, 92 million in outflows. 158 million of that 92 was from Grayscale. And that might make you go, wait. That's a negative number. Yes, it is. It is. 92 million left the Ethereum ETFs. Grayscale's contribution was 158.6 million of the 92. So you would go, wait. So actually, the inflows were like 66 million positive, but then you had to back out Grayscale. Yes. Grayscale is continually shitting the bed. This is not an Ethereum thing. This is a Grayscale thing. But you know what? That too shall pass. But see, if you just look at that headline and moved on down the road, you would get the wrong information. Bitcoin ETFs show strength. In contrast, spot Bitcoin ETFs maintain positive flows with 88 million in inflows over the same period. Actually, the inflows are almost the same for Bitcoin and Ethereum, unless you count Grayscale's outflows, because Grayscale is a fucked company with fucked leadership and dummies running their shit. It is mind-boggling how they have destroyed that company. Like Grayscale used to mean something, man. Oh God. Don't ever meet your heroes. Oh wait, shit. Someone, hold on. I gotta tell them. No, they're filming some crap on the street, and there are cars and vans everywhere. Anyway, it's true. Cars and vans everywhere. They're filming. I got a little thing that says they're filming a NutriBullet commercial. Oh, whoa. Well, by all means. Okay, so spot Ethereum ETFs in the United States have experienced their longest streak of outflows since their inception. And what they really mean is Grayscale. Grayscale, and the trend has raised concerns about the confidence in Ethereum-based investment products. No, it hasn't. The Grayscale Ethereum Trust has been a major contributor. No, not a major contributor. They're the entire thing. They are the outflows. 158.6 million in outflows from Grayscale. If the total was 92, but Grayscale did 158, they are all the outflows. It's you gotta wonder, these dudes that write this stuff, like, do you do math? Do you even math, bro? You know what, this guy's got hedge fund manager written all over him. Anyway, I'm not going to read any more of that article because we know this asshole can't do math, but that's the kind of stuff that you get. Okay, this is good news for anyone who likes Kamala Harris. She will support policies that ensure crypto's growth. This came from an aide. Now, we should dig into that. That sounds cool. Kamala likes crypto, right? That's what you would think. That's what an aide said. Well, not really. Not quite. The crypto industry, I love how they write. The crypto industry, you guys, all of us, we received a boost following Kamala Harris's support proclamation. Now, did she make the proclamation? No, not actually, not out of her mouth. She didn't out of her mouth say it. Say, well, Harris's aide said she will support policies ensuring the crypto industry's growth. Like, sweet. She said that? Well, she didn't say the word crypto, but she said growth. Wait, what? Both Harris and Trump have promised to support crypto if elected. Not true. So, the crypto industry received a boost following signals, you got to read into this, signals that Kamala Harris, the current U.S. Vice President and presidential candidate of the Democratic Party, will support crypto if elected president. So let's dig in. In a recent interview, a policy advisor to Harris, to the campaign, so not an advisor but an advisor to the campaign advisor, stated that the presidential candidate would back measures to help digital assets grow. And then they were questioned, well, what do you mean by that? What does that mean? Well, when asked about her effort to engage the crypto community, Brian Nelson, senior campaign advisor, remember, not an advisor, a campaign advisor for the policy of Harris's campaign. So that's your title. You're a campaign advisor for the policy of campaigning. What is that? What the fuck is that? That's not even a thing. That's like, what do? I pet cats. I'm a pet cat petter. What? What? So anyway, senior campaign advisor for policy for the Harris campaign said, this is the actual quote. She's going to support policies that ensure that emerging technologies and that sort of thing can grow. What? Yeah, that's a quote. You can take that to the bank, bro. She's going to support policies that ensure that emerging technologies and that sort of thing can continue to grow. Oh, yeah. That had crypto written all over it. They didn't even say, what is it? Emerging technologies? Dude, the commercial they're doing over there for the NutriBullet, that's an emerging technology. It measures the stuff in your cup, and before it does it or whatever, it's like there's just this much stuff in your cup. NutriBullet, emerging technology. Green initiatives, emerging technology. Fast motion gardening, hydroponics, emerging technology. Better oil gasket shit that goes in a fucking well somewhere you're never going to see. Emerging technology. She didn't say shit about crypto. She didn't even say the word digital. The only reason we know that there's electrons involved is because there's electrons involved in everything, because atoms need them. Jesus. So again, a nothing burger. They have said nothing about crypto. They haven't even said anything about AI yet. Not that those two things are even marginally important, But like, you might want to talk about technology. Anyway, so good thing she's going to support something that does something about something with electrons. None of it being crypto. None of it. Kamala. Okay. This is kind of cool. Stable coins hold around 1% of U.S. Treasury bills as of today. And of course, you would say, wait a minute, isn't that including all the funny money, the counterfeiting operation known as Tether? Yes. But I think Tether is basically working for the government now. I think when all those guys got arrested, they all said, listen, why wouldn't we just be a government counterfeiter? Why should we be private counterfeiters? We could be a government counterfeiter. Yeah, I think government like that. Anyway, I don't know. Who knows? Tether eclipses Schwab and Fidelity in the U.S. Treasury bill holdings with $80.9 billion in treasuries. Now, where did the actual money they got for that come from? Oh, no, nowhere. They just printed it into existence. But, banks have been printing into existence forever. No one seems to get mad at that. What, kitty? What? Come here. Meow meow. Sometimes she just gets on one. Maybe treasuries just make her crazy. Loki, do treasuries make you crazy? He cares. He cares as much about treasuries as hedge fund managers care about their clients. All right. So the quick take is a senior investment specialist and strategist at Bitwise, actually someone who looks at math, highlights that the growing influence of stablecoins in the U.S. Treasury bill market. Currently, stablecoins hold 1% of Treasury bills. Kitty, what? She's really on one about treasuries. Surpassing Schwab's U.S. Treasury Money Fund at $70.7 billion and Fidelity Investments Money Market Fund. So I'm going to show you. Here, we're going to do a, how do I do this? Shift as we go. One, Control Command 4. Is that how you do it? Nope. Shift Command 4. Nope. F4. 4. Shift Command 4. Ah, there it is. Shift Command 4. Let me see if I can. You guys see this? Let me take this off the screen. So this is the breakdown so far. It's kind of cool. Dear God, Kitty. What? She also does that when there's like a really cool bug she's trying to get at. Anyway, Tether, the counterfeiter known as Tether, with almost 81 billion. You would say, wow, so people have given Tether 81 billion US dollars? No, they haven't. They've given them probably a billion. Maybe probably a billion. Anyway, JP Morgan, 100% US Treasury money market, 204 billion. That's pretty good. So they are, you have Tether would fall right underneath American Fund Central Cash, but right above Fidelity, the JP Morgan US Government Money Market, and the Schwab US Treasury Money Fund. So, which is pretty cool. So they would fall right here. Now you say, well, that's not great. Yeah, but it's Tether. And the actual other stable coins that actually do take dollars in one side into their trust and then buy treasuries, things like that, like Circle. And I don't know if Paxos is still running their stable coin or if they rolled that down, but you have Pusty, which is PayPal's spammy ass, half-ass sketch version of a stable coin. Well, it's pretty much a fail. But I wonder what Circle's at. Anyway, Circle's not on the list because they actually have to take real money in and buy real assets, things like that. And Tether can say whatever they want because there's no auditing and there's no financials and no one goes to jail. So, but anyway, isn't that interesting? So by hook or crook, they have almost 81 billion in U.S. treasuries. Ain't that something? And then finally, in other news that's kind of pretty cool, actually, El Salvador is making a rather bold statement with blockchain technology. They're rolling out an 80,000 employee training program. This is a move towards including Bitcoin in El Salvador's policy and governance. Getting a lot of, they got them laser eyes and Michael Saylor. What does it entail? The virtual training course, which is the certification in public administration number 1, has 7 modules. The topics include Bitcoin as legal tender, Bitcoin regulation, government use cases for Bitcoin. The director of the ONBTC, Stacy Herbert, noted how this could pay off big time. As we build better and innovative, El Salvador keeps winning. I'm also assisting in the building of a Bitcoin module for this program at ESIAP Academy. Thousands of civil servants in El Salvador would receive top-level Bitcoin training. I mean, shouldn't they receive just digital asset training, like just digital currency training? Anyway, the target of this program is to create excellence in governance in El Salvador. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know we were talking about excellence in governance. Governor. They're also creating Kubo Plus, building a new K-8 Bitcoin workbook because we need to get kindergartners started messing with Bitcoin. And meme coins too, probably, if it's kindergartners. Introducing My First Bitcoin and Node Nation to public schools. All this will help improve how El Salvador is excelling in blockchain technology application. No, that seems like it's just teaching kids that they need Bitcoin. I guess that's cool. I think this is neat. I think you're going to have a lot of people that grow up thinking a little bit different when they're exposed as little kids to Bitcoin, to blockchain. I mean, this is more Bitcoin, but to blockchain and things like that. It's kind of cool. Yeah, they are definitely discussing when to kill Caesar. And those aren't dresses, Howard. Man, dear God, these are sophisticated. These are sophisticates. You want to see what my prompt was? Here, let me get my prompt. My prompt was, I want to see a landscape-oriented image of 2 Roman scholars sitting at a granite desk surrounded by ancient ruins at night discussing matters of great importance. Howard, they're discussing matters of great importance. You wouldn't know anything about matters of great importance. Would you? Or would you? Howard, you got hedge fund manager written all over you. All right. Anyway, that's kind of the news. There wasn't anything. I mean, markets are kind of melting up. Tomorrow, Jerome is going to spam. He's going to tell everyone that they saw all this coming. It's obvious. Someone will probably ask, well, Jerome, did you see the revisions that you guys lied about for a year? Did you see those coming back down 30%? Oh, yeah, we assumed there was going to be some revisions. Oh, did you? Weird. Because your policy doesn't assume that. Your policy says you're going to wait. You're going to wait for more information. But you propagated the lies, and then you obviously got the revisions. You saw them like we saw. So you knew that. You knew those things. Oh, yeah, we knew about all those. We knew that was going to happen. We factored that into our policy. Right. Even though you say you're data dependent and your data is 5 months old. Yes. So you both knew the future and the past with 100% certainty. Yes. Got it. Very clever. They're very, very shrewd. Very clever and shrewd at that Fed. Anyway, Powell talks at 10 a.m. Eastern. So we'll have already heard that spammy bullshit. I think that they're going to try to be like, 25 basis points, but we're going to proceed, data dependent. We're going to go it slow. He's going to try to kind of hawkishly introduce these cuts. And as the bad information keeps rolling in, they're going to continue to look dumber and dumber and dumber, but they can't look dumber because they've always looked dumb. Anyway, I don't think anything tomorrow is exciting. I think anything we were going to see that was exciting was from yesterday and a little bit today. I think tomorrow's bullshit was priced yesterday. And if I was to speculate, I would say it's a nothing burger going into the weekend. Sideways trading at best, maybe a little bit of a give up. Bitcoin could start to slowly melt up, I think. But I don't think there's any real catalyst to anything super exciting right now. But markets will probably go up the more bad news we get, because for whatever reason, when economy bad, stock market go up. When economy good, stock market go up. Stock market go up because stock market go up. You say, why is the stock market going up? Because of the economy. What do you mean? Well, why is the economy good? Because of the stock market. But aren't those not related? Yes. So nothing you said makes sense. I like your style. I'm going to get you a hedge fund. You get a hedge fund. And you get a hedge fund. And you get a hedge fund. All right, everyone. Go get you a hedge fund.